To start.
Rock concert movement number 1. The basic head bob. Ready, go.
Hey, there I am. 1:30 on a really absolutely god-awful Thursday afternoon in the capital city. Thanks for coming along. Bradshaw with you here on Webcast One Live. TheBradshawShow.com is the site. You get my Twitter feed, at Radio Bradshaw, twitter.com/Radio Bradshaw. Follow along for fun and frivolity. Email radiobradshaw@gmail.com. And you can follow along with the video. And it's kind of creepy. I feel a little bit like Big Brother. Now the 2 minutes hate. Really more Emmanuel Goldstein, I think. I have a big monitor. You can't see it. It's right up there. So, no, this is a perfectly normal way to look. I'm just going to, yeah. Or you can get the audio feed on your mobile device. Bluetooth it to the car stereo. Boom, you're set. It's all there. Coming up on the show today, fighting words. Not that what Tag Romney said is a big deal. But it is an interesting thought experiment. I'll explain. Some debate leftovers. Reheated. And just interesting things going on. The breaking news this morning. DOMA struck down by yet another Court of Appeals. In this case, what makes it interesting is that one of the judges, it was a 2-1 appellate decision. Chief Judge Dennis Jacobs is a Bush 1 appointee. And conservative would be a very good way of describing a judge that believes that corporations are immune to international human rights law, even when they, quote, trade in or exploit slaves, employ mercenary armies to do dirty work for despots, perform genocides, or operate torture prisons for a despot's political opponents. Now, that's corporate rights. He gave a speech to the Federalist Society. This is a group of conservative lawyers, law types, decrying the antisocial effects of attorneys providing free legal services to the less fortunate. The right's going to have a really hard time painting this guy as an activist judge or a bleeding heart. He is the author of the opinion. The Supreme Court uses certain factors to decide whether a new classification qualifies as a quasi-suspect class. And what DOMA. They include whether the class has been historically subjected to discrimination, whether the class has a defining characteristic that frequently bears a relation to ability to perform or contribute to society, whether the class exhibits obvious, immutable, or distinguishing characteristics that define them as a discrete group, and whether the class has a minority or political powerless. In this case, all 4 factors justify heightened scrutiny, this of the Defense of Marriage Act. Homosexuals as a group have historically endured persecution and discrimination. Homosexuality has no relation to aptitude or ability to contribute to society. Homosexuals are a discernible group with non-obvious distinguishing characteristics, especially in the subset of those who enter same-sex marriages. And the class remains politically weakened. Oddly enough, the one judge who dissented on the 3-judge panel was a Clinton appointee. You win some, you lose some. But yet another strike against the Defense of Marriage Act. And now that a second appeals court has struck it down for reasons that vary from the last decision that struck it down. there's a very high likelihood that the Supreme Court will end up taking a look at DOMA once and for all. And according to legal scholars, of which I am not one, I've never even read a John Grisham book. I think I saw it was at the first, which was the Tom Cruise. Like I half-heartedly watched, one of the movies. It was, one of those afternoons on the couch and TBS is on or whatever. Or TNT. Which one? TBS is very funny. TNT knows drama. Gotcha. But good news on that front. One of the last socially acceptable aspects of separate but equal is not long for this earth. And then full faith and credit takes over and things get a lot more fun in Mississippi. Or a lot more fabulous, I guess, depending on your particular point of view. But that's the breaking news today. A piece that popped up last night. A couple. Another Romney recording. This one not quite the bombshell that the 47% tape was. This is a call from earlier in the year from the Romney campaign. And it was one of those, conference calls. In this one, Romney's talking to the National Federation of Independent Business and tells the group of business owners they should make it very clear how they feel about the candidates to their employees. And we've seen this in action. The Koch brothers sent out letters to all of their employees, making it very clear that they would prefer you vote for Mitt Romney. Told you about David Siegel. He's the timeshare billionaire, or, 100 million. Very rich man. Said the economy doesn't currently pose a threat to your job. What does threaten your job, however, is another 4 years of the same presidential administration, and claimed that if his taxes go up one bit, he's going to have to start firing people, kind of the unspoken, maybe you. Arthur Allen, the CEO of ASG Software Solutions, telling employees they only have themselves to blame if they lose their job if Obama wins. Claiming it's for the health of the company. Now, Romney was right on the recording. He says, nothing illegal about you talking to your employees about what you believe is best for business. Because I think that will figure into their election decision, their voting decision, of course, doing that with your family and your kids as well. And Romney is right, thanks to Citizens United. The court ruling that opened up the floodgates to, as much money as someone wants to spend on politics, and whether they want to do it in the open or in secret. All's fair game. And with that came corporate lobbying of employees, something that wouldn't have been okay back in 2008. And this is our first real election under Citizens United. That's why the price tag has gone up so much. Obama's probably going to be our first billion-dollar candidate. And who knows how much, outside money is being spent. But certainly more than normal. If you want more information on this, just turn on any commercial television station. It's all political ads all the time. The good news is seeing how this is the first. Many people aren't quite sure what to do with this newfound power. And this is good news, for those of us who aren't in the figure a year tax brackets. Because luckily, and we're seeing this with the Jack Welches, or maybe the Ricketts. Joe Ricketts is the Ameritrade guy who wanted to find a articulate black man to insult the president. Until it came out that he was looking for an articulate black man to insult the president, then that plan was quickly dropped. These titans of industries, these wannabe John Galts, while very successful in their chosen field, not experts in politics, and luckily vain enough to believe they know what's best. And what we've ended up with are these, groups and PACs, firing a million missiles in a million different directions. It's like having a firing squad shooting at 40 different places. The real effect of Citizens United is going to be felt in my guess, 2016, because whether it's Karl Rove or the new evil genius of the day, make no doubt that they are going to spend the next 4 years talking to the Joe Rickettses, the Koch brothers, the Coors family, the Arthur Allens, the David Siegels, and convincing them to come under his banner. Say, we all need to fire in the same direction at the same time for maximum impact. So, no matter who our candidate is in 2016, Biden, Clinton, Cuomo, God, I hope not. Maybe O'Malley if he does a lot of legwork between now and then. This is something, this is just the way the game is played now. Again, it's not saying I'm a fan of super PACs or that it's good that they exist. But the reality is they do exist. The reality is, yes, according to IRS rules, churches are not allowed to electioneer from the pulpit. Reality is they're going to. The law says that, PACs and candidates can't, commingle. They can't coordinate. Reality is they do. And you have to, live in reality and play in reality. If you don't, you get caught on national TV saying that the president didn't call the attack on Benghazi terrorism for 14 days. Oops. So it is interesting. Jamel Bowie in the Washington Post today has a good point. This audio that was found from Mitt Romney. Talking about what's really disturbing isn't, because Romney's right, it is not illegal for your boss to send you an angry mail, threatening your job if that bong wins. So what's disturbing is because of what it says about Romney's view of the relationship between employers and workers. Implicit in this request for business owners to make it very clear to their employees what is in the best interest of your enterprise and therefore your job is coercion. When a friend says, think about who you vote for, it's a piece of advice. When your boss says, think about who you vote for, it carries the weight of a threat. After all, your boss can fire you. Romney complains he's been characterized as a heartless plutocrat, but he seems intent on proving it. Same way if I, post on Twitter, hey, don't forget, get out and vote, and hey, vote Obama because you're not a, Patrick Bateman wannabe who gets, hears things from ATM machines. Poor stray cat. That's one thing. When someone who holds a degree of power over you, the comparison I would make is to sexual harassment laws. If I go to Susie in accounting and let me know, hey, if you don't do what I want, something bad might happen. I'm just saying. Well, Susie in accounting, if HR doesn't do anything about it, is probably going to walk away with a decent amount of change. Imagine a boss writing that same letter. And you can read the Koch brothers letter. You can read the Arthur Allen or David Siegel emails. For a bunch of, John Galtian Titans of Industry, these are really some kind of thin-skinned bitches, but that's neither here nor there. Just all you got to do, change it from a political letter to a I am a man and I have urges letter, and see how it reads, because it's similar, but thanks to Citizens United. Again, on the political front, it is perfectly acceptable, perfectly normal. Hell, even don't make it, if I see you driving the wrong car, the car that's the wrong color, these sorts of, you might not like the repercussions. And I know part of the effect is simply to encourage non-participation and maybe throw a few stray votes. Maybe I'm the hard-headed one. And this is the way I grew up. I mean, an email like this, getting a letter in the mail like this, my friends over at Clear Channel Radio, the owners of We Hate Others, and Kiss FM, Ryan Seacrest, very important. Clear Channel is owned by Bain Capital. And their management let it be known that, of course, nothing bad would happen to you just because you didn't donate to our own, PAC that happens to be supporting Mitt Romney and Republicans. It would just be a good idea. And we won't keep a list of names. Does anyone buy that, by the way? With this kind of push again. When it's done politically, it's perfectly acceptable, perfectly normal. Thanks to Citizens United, something that, thanks to the Supreme Court, is going to require a constitutional amendment and may be the only solution to the problems that are facing us. I think it was Chris Hayes over the weekend was writing about, dealing with disagreements. Should we politicize things? And he or I are on the same side here. I've said this for years. Yes, there's nothing wrong with politicizing. I should say nothing inherently wrong. Not all political attacks are created equal. If you're trying to, say, beat someone over the head with a dead, State Department IT worker who I happen to know, that, is going to rub me the wrong way. But inherently, making a political argument of things is not bad, especially when you consider the alternatives through history, which usually involves some sort of sword, gun, sharpened rock, missile. Again, that's how historically we have settled things. It is far less dangerous to the structural integrity of one's skull. Again, as mind-bending as many conservative arguments are, to instead make it a political debate. Think of it as, tectonic plates, right? Those political arguments, those debates and discussions are, the little 1.0, 2.0 tremors that just relieve a little bit of stress on the San Andreas fault, right? What you don't want is for it to build up, build up, build up, build up, and boom, the big one. You would rather have, thousands, hundreds, millions of just those little seismic events that relieve the strain and stop the buildup. That's what political arguments do. What Citizens United has done has allowed, whether it's groups wanting to do this, under the cloak of darkness, or whether to, just gently nudge your employees. It's almost drowned out the discussion. Two people can be talking, but if I'm there with 100 megaphones, and I'm not talking like a cool Michael Winslow making sound effects, police account, I'm screaming in your face. The goal is to drown out any real discussion. The right is very good at that. That is part of why they invest millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, into the noise machine. Ray sends me a tweet at Radio Bradshaw. Talking about the Romney tax plan. Where is the Tea Party? They should be bashing Romney on his tax plan because it will raise the deficit. And this is what every independent economist says, is there's simply no way to cut enough tax deductions to pay for the 20% across the board rate cut. And in getting rid of those deductions, you would cause a significant tax increase for middle and lower classes. When they say, we need to broaden the base, what they mean is we need more poor people paying more in income taxes. So it would either A, raise taxes, or B, explode the deficit. There is no math that shows otherwise. Ray brings up a very good point. Where is this Tea Party that, according to themselves, abhors raising taxes or increasing the deficit? Largely quiet on this. If anything, they ignore that reality and support Romney anyway because he's white. Republican. No, being redundant again. One, Ray, thanks for the tweet. Two, you under the mistaken impression that Republicans, no matter what banner they may hide under, have ever cared about the debt and deficit. For more information on this, look at their voting records. Why is Steve King, anti-stimulus crusader, showing up to get his picture taken at ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings for stimulus projects? Why is the Republican Party believes that stimulus is the most evil, awful, boondogglest, thing anywhere? Well, why'd they do it multiple times during the Bush years? Remember, they sent us all checks with George Bush's name on them. Not only did they want us to have the money, they wanted to make sure we knew where it was coming from. They want to build rainforests in Iowa with federal money. They want to bring goodies home in the Farm Bill. I don't care about the debt and deficit. And if we had a real debate and discussion in this country, we'd hash out those things. But it's impossible because we have one side that lives in fantasy land. And they're not exactly making the case against me. I don't know if you caught this yesterday. WorldNet Daily is kind of your go-to site for right-wing conspiracy theories, whether it's birtherism, which they were big on. The latest couple seem to be that Barack Obama's wedding ring, I don't know, has some sort of Arabic. What's Arabic for one ring to rule them all?
Don't know.
Or even, I don't know if this one, I don't know, in chronological order, I don't know if it has Arabic. Because previously, I think, if I'm getting my orders correct, that wedding ring was actually a gay wedding ring. Because Barack Obama is now a, socialist, communist, Marxist, Kenyan anti-colonial, secret Muslim, homosexual. Is that the list? Who is also an all-encompassing tyrant who is looking to destroy America and destroy capitalism, and is also an empty suit who is completely ineffectual and just can't live without a teleprompter. Anyway, the nexus of many of these fault lines runs through the WorldNet Daily, whose chief, political correspondent, Jerome Corsi, the guy who got kicked out of Kenya for going to look for the president's original, super Allah Muslim birth certificate, is now a credentialed member of the Romney press team and has a seat on the Romney press plane. Way to fight the image, guys. So, long story short, what you're seeing in these CEOs, sending vaguely threatening letters to their employees is just a natural occurrence of Citizens United. And again, if we're ever going to get control of our politicians again, because, for as much as we rail, we hate all these political ads, we hate these attack ads, I hate getting, polling phone calls, and why are they sending me all this junk in the mail? Time and time again, whether it's focus groups, whether it's exit polling, or simply election results, we have shown our politicians that it works. If you can outspend, the other guy 2, 3, 8 times, you're probably going to win. We are a nation of low information voters, like it or not. It's time we cut the corruption off at the source. What happens when, say, Monsanto can't buy Iowa senators? Well, the landscape begins to look a lot different. As long as elections keep getting more expensive, every dollar spent lowers the voice that you or I have. We get drowned out. According to the Supreme Court, money is speech. I don't have a couple $1 million to spread the wealth around. I got one voice and a microphone, a couple computers and a camera. That's it. I got more than most. But trust me, they ain't returning my phone calls in Washington. But if you're a lobbyist for Monsanto, come on in. Did you bring gifts? We're never going to take the reins back. All right. Email me, radiobradshaw@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/radiobradshaw. Just go to, here, I got up there. I have to do this all backwards. thebradshawshow.com. It's got the audio feed, archives in there as well, all the contact information at thebradshawshow.com. Be back right after this on Webcast One Live. Thanks for watching.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Drug and alcohol addiction slowly steals a person's identity, tearing away pieces of their life little by little until one day it seems like the hope of a happy future is gone and there's no chance of getting it back. Here at St. Gregory Retreat Centers, we can assure you that there is hope. Our unique approach to recovery begins with the understanding that the dysfunction and damage caused by addiction can be overcome, not just dealt with. Don't let another day go by. Call St. Gregory today.
It's like they want to get hit.
Need a body shop?
Minor Wreck Express saves you time and money.
Hi, I'm J. Michael McCoy, and about 20 years ago, I went to a used car salesman by the name of John Hewitt. He had a little shop over there on North 2nd Avenue called John's Auto Sales, and I bought a car. I found that experience to be one that I had never had before from a used car salesman. He was honest, he was dependable, he had integrity, and he did what he said he was going to do. Well, over the years, between my kids and grandkids, I purchased 7 vehicles from John's Auto Sales. And last month, I asked him to be a sponsor. And he said not only would he like to be a sponsor, but he would offer a $100 $100 tithe for every customer that came and bought a car from him directly to the church of your choice. I can tell you about their huge selection. I can tell you about their years of experience. I can tell you about their honest integrity. But all I really need to tell you is that I bought 7 cars and you can trust them. John's Auto Sales, 5435 2nd Avenue, Des Moines.
You need a good ride when you hit the trail. Trust the man with the cars, and he goes by the name of Big John. Big John. Big John.
Ever feel like there's more to life? God offers more. Chat now with an online coach at groundwire.net.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Time to start.
Rock concert movement number 1. The basic head bob. Ready, go.
Diet Pepsi is my anti-drug. 201 Bradshaw with you here on a absolutely awful, god-awful Thursday afternoon in the capital city. I love that, the Weather Channel on my phone is sending me alerts saying that we're under a wind advisory. The fact, my house is shaking didn't tell me that. That's good. I don't have windows, so I can't hear. And my place just turns into an absolute wind tunnel. All right, phone number is 244-0077. All are welcome. Some are even capable. Email radiobradshaw@gmail.com. And follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Radio Bradshaw for see me say snarky things to Chuck Grassley and the like. Not a big deal, but let's just play along with me for a second. Yesterday, Tag Romney, one of the Romney boys, who are making the rounds as surrogates for their dad, goes on the Bill LeMay show. Hi, I'm Bill LeMay. Where Bill LeMay asks, what's it like for you to hear the President of the United States call your dad a liar? Fair question, debate. In return, if you're on the stump as a family member, you have a different insight. They were on Conan. I believe all 5 Romney boys were. And they talked about, their dad is a prankster. This is one of those stories meant to humanize Mitt Romney, make him relatable. Oh, he plays the nasty pranks. But the conversation kind of took a weird turn, so the boys ended up discussing a prank they pulled on his dad. And the tone entirely changes. It becomes, Dad doesn't like to be pranked. We learned that the hard way. It's not quite no wire hangers ever, but I don't think that's the way they meant that conversation to go. But anyway, Tag Romney on the Bill LeMay show asked about, you want to hear what is it like to hear the President of the United States call your dad a liar? He said, well, you want to jump out of your seat, rush down on the debate stage, and take a swing at him. Now, I don't think this really tells us anything. It's not a big deal, and I'm not trying to make it a big deal. Although it does show Tag Romney probably has a small weenie. That's just, and not because I have any inside information. Just that's typically the response of the not so well endowed. But again, just thought exercise that imagine if Reggie Love, for example, he's the president's body man. No, that's not WorldNet Daily. Don't splice the tape up. No. Body man is the guy that follows around the president, kind of a personal aid assistant. Charlie on the West Wing. What do you think Fox Nation would look like right now if a male person of color were to say they wanted to punch Mitt Romney? God forbid. What if Michelle Obama had said it? You already can't go to Free Republic, WorldNet Daily, Fox Nation. And again, this is open-ended. Please try to show me an exception to this rule, because I have not found it to exist. Find a story on one of these right-wing sites with kind of open comments. Post a story about Michelle Obama, and tell me if you can make it, through the comment section without feeling a little bit queasy, or I guess if you're south of the Mason-Dixon line, a little bit proud. It's just the basest of base. But like Hannity, well, luckily his show's not 4 hours long, so he wouldn't need to call a doctor. But if Michelle Obama were to say, I want to take a swing at Mitt Romney, can you imagine the pearls, fainting that would go on? It kind of ties into what I talked about yesterday with the debate and the difference between first debate Obama and second. One of the things that Barack Obama, and it's not an issue that, a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant or Mormon, I guess we should add, so that'd be a WASPM, has to deal with, is appearing as the angry black man. Once you step over that line, like, you need to be forceful, you need to be commanding, you have to, you're the President of the United States, you're the Commander-in-Chief. You have the football. You have the lunch codes. And whether you're a badass or not, you're a badass. You can be Alzheimer's-ridden, empty suit like Reagan, and you can still, dial a phone, and in less time than it takes me to get Pizza Hut to get my order correct, order the land invasion of Grenada. Yeah, do it. You are inherently a badass. And while Barack Obama was in no way, shape, or form prepared for the version of Mitt Romney that appeared at the first debate, his problem with the second debate is he couldn't pull a Biden. He couldn't be, over the top laughing at Paul Ryan, which to me was an absolutely valid response to some very laughable answers. Because once you cross that angry black man line, forget the Turner effect. This is the big Jim Slade effect. And the president understands that there is more riding on this, 2012 election than just whether he gets a second term or not. More than just his legacy. How long will it take before, the next black man runs for president? And that the immediate response, we tried that. I mean, I know Republicans have tried, he's lazy, he's stupid, he steals. They've done everything they can to, dog whistle themselves into a lead. If the president kind of crosses that line, he would face the same thing. If anyone on his team were to say what Tag Romney did, the comment would be just as not a big deal as when, Tag Romney says it. What would be a big deal is how the right would take that. I mean, does anyone here believe that they wouldn't? If Michelle Obama said the exact same thing Tag Romney did. What was it like to, hear your president, your husband called, a liar? Well, you want to jump out of your seat and rush down to the debate stage and take a swing at him. Can you imagine what Rush would say, Glenn would say, Sean would say? I would say what Mark Levin would say, but I'm guessing it would be at such a high register, human ears couldn't even hear it. Pinhead. Seriously, that show's unlistenable. I have no idea how anyone's a fan. So that struck me as the again, I know it's almost cliche at this point, but there really is a true phenomenon. It's okay if you're a Republican. And, somewhere between 45 and, 50% of this country, truly believes that. Getting back to what Ray had said earlier, why aren't Tea Partiers angry that the Romney tax plan, will either A, raise taxes, or B, explode the deficit, because those are things they care about, so they say. Initial response is, no, they don't actually care about those things. The bigger response is, it's okay if you're a Republican. When Mitt Romney stands on stage during the Republican debates and says, I'm severely conservative, I want to cut tax rates for everyone, including the rich. Right? And then we see him on stage saying, regulations are right, and all women should have access to birth control, even though I supported the Blunt Amendment. He's lying to someone. In reality, probably both audiences. Why isn't the right wing upset? If he had given those answers that he gave, in both the debates, when he was debating, Ron Paul and Michelle Bachmann and Herman Cain, they would have wanted to string him up. I did like that he got called out on this, his 5-point plan. This is a clip from the debate. The president had a little fun with Mitt Romney and his 5-point plan. Watch Romney's response to this, by the way. The dude's got thin skin. But this is what the president had to say at the debate.
Governor Romney says
Did I break something?
he's got a 5.
They were doing this like the robot. Sorry. Coming. No dice.
Governor Romney says
Okay. I broke something. But the president made a very good point and got the audience to, audibly react. Romney doesn't have a 5-point plan. He's got a 1-point plan. Talking about the president's scary thought. Douche chills. Romney's 5-point plan. Again, which is funny when you go and look at it, and the folks at the Washington Post, Glenn Kessler, actually did. Source required is always a handy tool when discussing anything with a Republican, conservative, Fox News watcher, AM radio listener. Unlike your uncle, who just believes that Barack Obama is a Muslim and won't hear otherwise. For the most part, unless tax plans are involved, a campaign will at least cite a source, and that the Romney team did. To Kessler, when he asked, what are you basing this, for example, 12 million jobs you claim you're going to create on? Well, it turns out the sources cited by the Romney campaign actually say nothing of the sort. When Romney says he can create 12 million jobs, at the same time, by the way, saying that the government doesn't create jobs and that Barack Obama hasn't created enough of them, he says he will create 12 jobs. Here's how he says he's going to do it. Energy independence, his energy independence policy, is going to mean more than 3 million new jobs in this country. Now, unfortunately, the number he throws out there comes from Citigroup. in their global markets study that actually was not an analysis of Mitt Romney's plan. It was an 8-year study on, well, the stuff we're doing right now for energy independence. In other words, if Mitt Romney were elected president and spent his 8 years eating canned Spam in Glenn Beck's doom room, not messing up anything, we'd get 3 million jobs. Problem with that is that, well, before Romney was running around on stage talking about his love of clean energy, his campaign made it very clear to the point that, Governor Branstad, Senator Grassley had to respond. That, for example, he wanted to get rid of the wind energy tax credit, otherwise known as the reason we see so many of those, fan blades driving down our interstates. Because we're making them here, we're installing them here. It's been a huge boom to the Iowa economy. Mitt Romney wants to get rid of that. If we tell him rich people make blades, maybe then we'll get something. So there's the 3 million new jobs there. So he's going to create 7 million new jobs with his tax policy. Well, that turns out to be a 10-year number, not 4, like Romney's claiming. And cracking down on China, he says, will create 2 million new jobs. And he justifies this number with a 2011 International Trade Commission report that didn't analyze Romney's plans at all. In fact, Glenn Hubbard, an economist with the Romney campaign, was actually forced to admit at Willard, whatever, when faced with these numbers, that 3 plus 7 plus 2 actually don't equal 12 jobs in this context and don't equal 12 jobs in 4 years. There's some overlap there. This is require a little bit of source, a little bit of background, and it's amazing how this right-wing house of cards falls down. There's so little propping it up, because at the end of the day, does Mitt Romney think he's going to create 12 million jobs? Doubt it. Hell, the folks at Moody's say, we can sit on our hands and spend the next 4 years, watching Ishtar reruns, and the economy is going to create 12 million jobs, just based on economic bounce back, slow or otherwise. We have 12 million new jobs in this country in 4 years if we do nothing. So again, Mitt Romney is just taking a very roundabout way of saying that I'll be a nothing as a president. Well, in that case, he and I finally have found some common ground to agree on. Unfortunately, he would have access to picking Supreme Court justices and declaring war on Iran. So I'm not going to take the risk. All right, 244-0077. Email me, radiobradshaw@gmail.com, and follow me on Twitter. Twitter.com/radiobradshaw. And even, let's say, Tea Party types. And again, tea parties are for little children. Seriously, I've got like a 2-year-old niece. I think she enjoys tea parties. No Gadsden flags, and I don't think she even knows what a long-form birth certificate is. So I guess hers are better in those regards. But right, you would think even just the question. I mean, if they truly, in their heart of hearts, as black and as charcoal-like as they may be, if there was even a chance that Romney's tax plan, whose details we don't deserve to know, could possibly raise the debt and the deficit or raise taxes on middle class. And both are absolute possibilities. You would think they would at least be asking questions, right? Demanding reassurance. They don't. Why? And it gets down to, what they truly value, what they truly support. They're not even asking the question, right? They don't care. And just watch magically. Next time Republicans have the White House, next time they have Congress, down the memory hole goes the whole discussion of the debt and the deficit. We'll get a new Medicare Part D. We'll get more rainforests in Iowa and more goodies in the Iowa Farm Bill. And I will guarantee more tax cuts for rich people. Because that's the cure for everything.
I have that video now if you want to just play it for fun.
Nah.
Okay.
Well, moved on. Genevieve email. Funny stuff. The inside of my father's wedding ring is inscribed, "One ring to rule them all" in Elvish. Actually, it wasn't. Again, I'm not a Tolkien guy. I'm not a Lord of the Rings. There is one return, and it is of the Jedi. But isn't it called like dark or like black English?
I think that's in Elvish.
But I think that the actual engraving in the One Ring cast into Mount Doom.
No, it's in Elvish.
Are there any nerds and or virgins who can fill me in on this?
I am almost positive.
No,
it's
like
no.
It's a specific. Well, now I'm going to have to Google it.
Yeah, you better Google it while
See
we're
what
commercial.
You've done. All right, we're going to take a break, and I'm going to explain racial connotations, or I guess depending on what side of the Tea Party line you're on, absolutely fitting. When we come back here on the Bradshaw Show on Webcast One Live. Thanks for watching.
Real Estate Concept Studios. This is Webcast One Live.
Drug and alcohol addiction slowly steals a person's identity, tearing away pieces of their life little by little until one day it seems like the hope of a happy future is gone and there's no chance of getting it back. Here at St. Gregory Retreat Centers, we can assure you that there is hope. Our unique approach to recovery begins with the understanding that the dysfunction and damage caused by addiction can be overcome, not just dealt with. Don't let another day go by. Call St. Gregory today.
It's like they want to get hit.
Need a body shop?
Minor Wreck Express saves you time and money.
Hi, I'm J. Michael McCoy, and about 20 years ago, I went to a used car salesman by the name of John Hewitt. He had a little shop over there on North 2nd Avenue called John's Auto Sales, and I bought a car. I found that experience to be one that I had never had before from a used car salesman. He was honest, he was dependable, he had integrity, and he did what he said he was going to do. Well, over the years, between my kids and grandkids, I purchased 7 vehicles from John's Auto Sales. And last month, I asked him to be a sponsor. And he said not only would he like to be a sponsor, but he would offer a $100 tithe for every customer that came and bought a car from him directly to the church of your choice. I can tell you about their huge selection. I can tell you about their years of experience. I can tell you about their honest integrity. But all I really need to tell you is that I bought 7 cars, and you can trust them. John's Auto Sales, 5435 2nd Avenue, Des Moines.
You need a good ride when you hit the trail. Trust the man with the cars, and he goes by the name of Big John. Big John. Big John.
Ever feel like there's more to life? God offers more. Chat now with an online coach at groundwire.net.
From the Remax Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Time to start.
Rock concert movement.
Dan, I believe you have something to say.
The basic head bob.
I could possibly be wrong. I mean, that's if one can believe Wikipedia. You can put whatever you want. I once changed.
Have you ever seen, I mean, go through and like look at, I don't know, a Wikipedia article for the cosmological constant or, you know, quantum mechanics.
Sure.
They're long and they're complicated and generally put together. But then go look at an article over like nerd stuff, and it's like a Encyclopedia Britannica of all sorts of things. The geeks and the nerds, they take this stuff seriously.
That I changed the Jesse the Body Ventura page to say that he lost his re-election due to a faulty match with Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah, but how long before that was reverted?
Like 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
No one cares that much. I'm sure he's going to do a conspiracy show on that.
Somebody else added something to it for a while. There was like it was hilarious.
We were talking about this before. I'm not an elvish.
It's because you don't like good literature.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not a Lord of the Rings guy.
It's okay if you like 50 Shades of Grey.
I didn't.
Hey, look.
I didn't like any of that nerd stuff when I was a kid.
Who am I to judge you to like 50 Shades of Grey?
My geekiness came later on in life. It wasn't until like post-college.
You don't read Star Trek books, though, do you?
I have.
That's embarrassing.
What? The Enterprise? I'm disappointed we didn't get season 5 of Enterprise.
That's embarrassing.
Season 4 was actually good.
Embarrassing.
I wanted the lead up to the Romulan War. Anyway, I was never a Tolkien fan, and I think it proves, by the way, that I dated in high school because I didn't know this. But yes, now I understand why the World Net Daily and conservative wingnuts believe that he's got something sinister in his ring. See, because the inscription on the one ring that was cast into Mount Doom was written in black speech. Think about it. Ash Naz. I've not even.
Yeah, it wouldn't have anything to do with black magic, would it? Which has no racial connotations whatsoever.
No, it's the official language of
the orc.
Mordor.
Yeah.
Which one does not simply drive into.
True.
Or so image macros tell me. All right, 244-0077. Email radiobradshaw@gmail.com. And find me on Twitter, twitter.com/radiobradshaw, where you can find really nerdy stuff like that. I'm waiting for, Jerome Corsi to pick up on that one. Real quick before I got to scoot. Breaking news as of this morning. Newsweek announced that they are ceasing the Dead Tree version. No more Newsweek magazine as of December 31st, which isn't surprising. They are switching to kind of all digital all the time. It's kind of like what we're seeing with the Register. And for as much crap as I give the Register, because let's be honest, their political coverage has nosedived. Maybe I'm looking, at the past through big peach-colored glasses, but I'm sorry, just some of the stuff. Like Jennifer Jacobs, for example, is putting out there. It's like, he said, she said, done. Whee! I'm balanced. But overall, I mean, the newspaper, from a local side, is invaluable. Local media is certainly taking it in the shorts, but national even more so, because let's be honest, in the time that it takes to write, edit, print, ship a magazine, it might as well be a history textbook. The news cycle is too fast. There's too many outlets, whether it's, again, lefty or righty, blogs, news aggregators, message boards, forwarded emails, cable news. The ability to come up with some sort of indispensable, insight. It just isn't there. No matter what ground you covered, you're going to find footprints from when Matt Drudge carried you. The problem is I see these indispensable local outfits. You see the registers moving spaces. We're a digital company. We're an all-encompassing media, which means, we have a website. We know how to send out text alerts. I mean, mazel tov, but, they're strangling the golden goose. I don't remember the last time that was the last time you bought a paper copy of the Des Moines Register. I'll even count getting it free with a gas fill-up.
I was going to say probably the last time I filled up at Come and Go.
Which I believe they're discontinuing that.
I have no idea. I know now there's a limit. It used to be any amount of gas, and now it's like 10 gallons, and it wouldn't surprise me if they discontinued it.
I think, I don't care. But when was the last time you plopped down, 35, 50?
I think it's 50.
25?
Yeah, I don't know. A long time. I usually read them at the coffee shop if they're laying around, but other than that, I just refresh my cookies like you.
No, all I got to do is just take the name of take the headline of the article, put it in Google, and you can get past their firewall or their paywall, which I'm assuming at some point they'll fix. But gotta have those hits, and even then they're more walled off because the Des Moines Register has a paywall. The Chicago Tribune is putting in a paywall. The New York Times. Like, I'm not going to pay for 30 of these. If I'm not going to pay for the New York Times and the Chicago Tribune and the Des Moines Register. Oh, and by the way, in addition to everything else, I'm paying for online. But getting back to the Register, check out a paper version and look how often it's just simply a copy-paste from the Associated Press or from USA Today that is transferred, to the Register. It's the news equivalent of a syndicated radio show.
I noticed they got new paper. Have you seen that since they've changed the paper?
Oh, they get new. Yeah,
it's a new paper stock.
I haven't noticed that. All I want to know is how I can get the stupid neighborhood version from being mailed to me. Do you get those?
No, nobody likes Southsiders.
Well, you probably did get it delivered, but it was stolen.
It's a good possibility.
That one I hate because there's always a piece of mail. You can't just throw the thing away because I have no interest in, the sixth grade, cheerleading contest pictures. In fact, if you do have interest in sixth grade cheerleading pictures, you should probably voluntarily put yourself on a list to be watched because you're probably kind of creepy. But it's generally of no value to me, but I can't just throw the thing away because more often than not, there's actually a piece of valuable mail. Like Little Caesars coupons in it. So that does get me. Is there a way, does anyone know, to get yourself kind of off that list? Like, stop sending this to me. I don't want it. Anyway. Email it to me, radiobradshaw@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/radiobradshaw, and I got to scoot. So we'll reconvene tomorrow. Good poll numbers. Surprise. And who knows at this point whether it's presidential or candidate sons wanting to kick some ass or DOMA getting tossed out by freakishly conservative judges. Oh, may you live in interesting times. Anyway, get in touch. I'm always curious what people think, and we'll reconvene tomorrow at 1:30 on theBradshawShow.com and Webcast One Live. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.